Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. Now, I have been told there is not a woman alive who would lock this guy out of her bedroom. He is, hands down, the most sought-after bachelor in the entire country. He's gorgeous, he's sexy, he's the heir to the throne of American royalty. Audience, who am I talking about? Well, today we strip away the fantasy to reveal the real life of Prince Charming. He's too sexy for his shirt, too sexy for his car. He is a real-life, red-hot, and blue-blooded, living and breathing Prince Charming. But despite the hundreds of millions of people who have watched this guy grow up, he has managed to live a very private life. Now here I'm holding the hottest, first ever book written exclusively about John F. Kennedy Jr. The author is Wendy Leigh. Hi, Wendy. How you doing? Nice to see you. Is he Prince Charming?
Absolutely. He's a gentleman, he's glamorous, he's kind, and it's been a pleasure to spend 2 years of my life investigating and writing about his life.
Were people reluctant to speak about him?
Not really, because his friends were very, very determined that the truth about John come out, about his good nature, about his strong desire to be an average person. This really is a story of the prince who wants to be a frog, because John, more than anything else, wants to be a regular guy. A regular guy.
Now, is it true that Madonna said he was bad in bed?
I didn't say that in the book. One or two sources did say that Madonna felt that he wasn't adventurous enough for her, but that may not have been a bad thing, and I think it's probably to John's credit, given the nature of some of Madonna's adventures.
John Davis, our next guest, is not only the author of the Kennedys, Dynasty and Disaster, and more recently, thank you, the Bouviers, from Waterloo to the Kennedys and beyond. John is, you may recall, the first cousin to Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Is he more like a Bouvier or a Kennedy?
You're talking about John F. Kennedy Jr.? He's much more of a Bouvier.
Why do you say that?
Well,
he seems almost the mirror image of his dad.
He doesn't look at all like a Kennedy. He doesn't have fair skin. He doesn't have that sort of reddish blonde hair. He doesn't have blue eyes. He has dark French Mediterranean looks. He has a very much, I think, more of a French temperament than an Irish one. And his interests are not those traditionally of the Kennedy family. He's not a political activist. He has disclaimed political ambition. The Bouviers have always been much more attracted to the arts than to politics. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say that the Bouviers historically have abhorred and avoided politics.
We actually have, excuse me, John, we actually have a clip, I'll show you later in the program, of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s acting debut. I will bet you $1 million you've never seen it. It is quite revealing. But John, I want to ask you just to turn around and look at the photograph right behind you. You see the photograph right behind you? Just turn right and swivel in your chair and just look right around. See it right there? The photograph, the famed photo of John Jr. saluting.
Oh, yes.
His third birthday, of course, that as the funeral procession for his dad. Do you think that that photograph has marked John Kennedy Jr. in a way forever?
Oh, almost certainly it has. And if I might describe that day, which was surely the most dramatic day of my life, after we left the burial at Arlington Cemetery, we all went back to the White House. I'm talking about the members of both families, the Kennedys and the Bouviers. And there Jackie was greeting the heads of 104 nations. I saw her walking with Prince Philip, with Charles de Gaulle, with McCoyan of the Soviet Union, with immense poise and dignity and self-assurance, just a few hours after she had buried her husband in the ground. That recovery she made from that tragic, that really horrible moment to receive the condolences of the heads of state of the world in the first floor of the White House was something really incredible to behold. But then I was told to come upstairs because a party was going on. I said, a party? And I went upstairs to the family quarters of the White House, and there was little John Kennedy. He had just turned 3 the day of his father's burial. They were having a children's party for him, party hats, whistles. Everybody was having the most wonderful time. They were bringing in a cake with candles, a feeling of joyousness in the upstairs section of the White House, contrasting so dramatically with the mood downstairs where Jackie was receiving those condolences. And I want to compliment Jackie for this. She knew the tremendous burden that would be placed on her that day to represent the nation to 104 heads of state. But she never forgot that it was John's 3rd birthday, and she organized the birthday in all its details, just as much as she organized the state funeral and the events associated with the death of President Kennedy. It was a remarkably dramatic moment.
Many would say, of course, that the attention that Jacqueline Kennedy lavished on her 3-year-old under the most difficult of circumstances really reflected her treatment of her son as he grew up to be the young and so attractive man he is today. That was the end of Camelot. We have a video piece prepared to show you what the years of Camelot were like for little John. Take a look. John Kennedy Jr. from 0 to, college age. Claudia Cohen, our next guest, the well-known entertainment reporter, from Regis and Kathy Lee and lots of other places. Claudia, like almost every other woman in this town, keeps a watchful eye on JFK Jr. So how sexy is this guy, Claudia?
Well, I have to tell you, as magnificent as he is in all his pictures, and that's the basis on which every woman in America has fallen in love with him, in person, he is even more breathtaking, if you can possibly believe it. I mean, he is really staggering looking. He is, of course, he is of the perfect body. I mean, his pecs are perfectly developed without being too Schwarzenegger-esque. He has, of course, a magnificent face, great head of hair.
Don't show that picture. Show the one that's behind Jeannie Williams. Here, Johnny, get that shot. Get the real shot. That's the one they want to see. Yeah.
Exactly. Now that shows you I mean, that is the hunk of which we speak. And he is so perfect and so sexy, in fact, that Sarah Jessica Parker, who is the young actress who he dated for a little while, she was even quoted once, I think it was in People magazine, as saying that even the hair on his chest is, quote, perfectly distributed.
I once, I actually have some inside information. Wendy Leigh didn't interview me for the book, but I took a shower with John F. Kennedy Jr. once at Radu's workout place. He's really, I'm taller though. Rudy Maxa. Rudy Maxa is the Washington, D.C. bureau chief of Spy, the naughty magazine. Look what they put on the cover. It's Daryl Hannah, and she's getting dressed, but recognize that outfit with the pink pillbox hat and now that's the famous Jackie Kennedy that you guys are.
One of her Chanel suits, absolutely. Well, we pushed
You're shameless, you guys.
Well, I didn't really do that cover. I don't know how it happened, actually. That, of course, is computer generated, by the way. It looks like a very real photograph.
It's not Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah did not pose for that, even though that is certainly Daryl Hannah's face. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought we exhibited great taste.
Oh, it's awful.
Because we're really sort of trying to push into the future and look at the next generation of Kennedys, and the Chanel suit certainly was Jacqueline Kennedy's trademark.
So what's going to happen with this fellow? He's almost 33. He is an attorney now. He hasn't worked, as far as I know, since he quit his job at the DA's office.
I hate guys like that. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to him. I mean, I read
politics.
I don't even know he's going to marry Daryl Hannah. I mean, now the tabloids are saying that's off. But I've always got a kick out of the tabloids have also said that Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis sort of looks down on Daryl Hannah, and I keep thinking about who she married. I mean, she married a guy who was a frog, basically, named Aristotle Onassis. I mean, or looked like a frog, I'm sorry, and she married him, from an outsider's perspective because he was filthy rich.
You didn't say fraud, you said frog.
Frog, he looks like a frog. He looked like a frog.
Yeah, a frog with $1 billion looks like a prince to most people.
And for Jackie to be saying, well, Daryl Hannah isn't quite good enough for my son, I don't know.
Tracking the Kennedys of par for the course for our next guest, Jeannie Williams, the star gossip columnist for USA Today. Jeannie, do you think that Daryl Hannah is an appropriate match for JFK Jr.?
They are exceedingly well matched. How she would be if he does pick politics, I don't know. John is, as Claudia said, he is a really nice guy. And as Wendy says in her book, a friend of mine just told me a little story about how she was walking on the street in New York with her dog looking grungy, and behind her she hears this guy, somebody making a fuss about the dog. She looks, it's John, no shirt, shorts. He was incredibly friendly. I mean, this guy, he does deal well with people. He's very polite. I know Daryl was with him at the time, and she wanted him to kind of get out of there. How this would work in politics, I don't know.
But they are both kind of similar in background, are they not? She also comes from a very privileged
background. They are very
similar.
She also, her parents broke up when she was, I think, 7. So, and she suffered severely from that. So even though it was a different situation from an assassination, they have that deep psychological thing in common. And she comes from money. She knows what it's like to be in the spotlight. That helps.
But she also likes to play it down, as he does.
Oh. Do we all know how Daryl dresses? We know this. Please.
So is it off?
John has got to do something fairly soon, although his dad did not get married until, how old was
35.
Jack Kennedy was 35 when he got married. He's got time. It seems like, why rush into it, really?
Is he the sexiest man alive?
Not in my book.
Who is?
I don't know. I tend to go for the Sean Connerys, I have to tell you.
Oh.
But he's not bad.
I think John's being very smart. He's not going to make the same mistake that Prince Charles did in England of being pushed into a marriage before he wants to be. The media pushed Prince Charles into the marriage with Princess Diana, and John has always been his own man and will continue to be so and won't be pushed into marrying anyone until he's ready.
Okay, we're going to give you more of the inside details of this man who is his own man. He is John F. Kennedy Jr. It is the secret life of Prince Charming that is the focus of this edition of Horizon.